Okay, so I'm gonna go over how I do my 2 needle flat stitch. So let's start out with the setup. I always use an embroidery hoop because it frees up both of my hands to use with the 2 needle. And then I have this stand that holds my embroidery hoop, so completely hands free. And then in my hoop, a lot of people ask what I use. It's a silk screen mesh. I got it on Amazon. It's like $9.99 for 3 yards. 3 yards has lasted me like for a year and a half to 2 years. So it's a good deal. But you can use any thin fabric. If you try and use the Pellon in the hoop, it it'll wrinkle and it won't sit nearly as nice, and also you just waste a bunch of Pellon because I don't need it to be all of this extra here. That's just gonna go to waste. So I cut it out and then I tack it down. You can see. So it's like that. Other nice thing, this rotates like that, so I can just see what I'm doing back here. Oh, and one other nice thing about this frame, just because, is it's metal, so I can have magnets that hold all my stuff to it, like needle holders and things. Anyways, on to the two needle. So one important thing is I always work from bottom to top. So whatever direction I want my beads going, I have that going up and down. So with this right now, is I'm about to go start here and work my way up. The reason for that is when you put the beads on, gravity is going to make them want to go down, and so they're going to sit nicer and more normal that way versus trying to go sideways when they want to sag and they want to move. This will make it so that they want to stay more in line and just follow each other. Okay, so I've got my thread with my beads already on it, ready to go up and lay right next to this row. Zoom in a bit here. And the other hand, actually before that, the other hand is using the needle that's going to come up from the bottom to tack all the beads down. So I always pick at least one bead less than what would fill up the space. So like there's a gap up there you can kind of see. Because as you tack them down, the width of the thread doesn't seem like much, but it will add in a little extra space. And end up with too many beads, or else then you end up with a gap. It just takes kind of practice to get used to. So what we've got going on here is I take the thread with the beads and I wrap it around my finger till it's nice and tight, and then zoom back in here. I use this thumb to keep tension on the beads, so they are all getting pushed down. So as I said, gravity wants to keep them going in the line and going down, and then my thumb just pushes to add the little extra bit of tension so they aren't like moving around. And then if you can see, so I come up on the right side, pull it through, and then tack it down on the left side. And I mean, it's kind of straightforward from there. If I do end up where I have a little bit too much of a gap at the top, I will do it so that I space out my beads ever so slightly. So I'll like when I'm coming up, I'll come up, these are really small beads because they're 15-ohs, but I'll come up about like a quarter of a bead higher, and then kind of angle my needle a little bit more. Okay, it's hard to tell which direction I'm angling, but I'll angle it a little bit more upwards so that it just adds about a needle width of space between the bead, and you really don't notice it. except for that one that I made a little too big. But the rest of them, you can't tell that I did that actually in a lot of places. You can in one or two. But I did it for a whole bunch of rows in the yellow. And yeah, and I tacked down every single bead so that it is exactly where I want it and nowhere else. You don't have to worry about any kind of puckering or things like that. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I do it.